Okay, let's unpack this. When you think of, Italian tourism, you probably picture Venice, the Colosseum, or Florence's Ponte
Yeah.
Vecchio.
Oh, absolutely. Shoulder to shoulder with thousands of other people.
Exactly. But Italy's in the middle of this massive strategic shift. We're diving into a country that is absolutely booming, breaking tourism records, but it's fundamentally changing how, where, and why people travel there.
That is the crux of it. Our source material today, and it's a fascinating stack of economic reports, cultural analysis, and infrastructure plans, it all points to a unified national strategy.
It's a strategy because they have to, right?
They have to. The old beloved hotspots are just straining under the weight of their own popularity, and Italy's long-term response is, well, it's this brilliant plan of decentralization. They're pushing their unique identity outward.
Forcing travelers off the beaten path.
Precisely.
So for you, the traveler, the core insight we extracted is this. Italy's future success really relies on integrating its food, its culture, and its sustainability goals into one unified, decentralized travel narrative.
It's a complete overhaul of the national map.
Yeah, we're moving beyond the idea that travel just means, ticking off famous monuments.
Exactly. If you want to understand Italy's economic resilience, you have to look at the mechanisms they're using to distribute that visitor flow.
Away from places like Cinque Terre or the center of Rome.
Right. And they aren't just saying go somewhere else. They are creating compelling, structured reasons to go somewhere new.
Okay, so let's start with maybe the most enticing reason. Strategic food tourism.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about DOP tourism. This isn't just about, finding a good restaurant. This is a dynamic, sustainable model built around Italy's 597 certified food and wine products.
The Denominazione di Origine Protetta, the DOP or IGP.
Right.
And what makes this so strategic is that it functions explicitly as a mechanism against over-tourism.
How so?
Well, when a region focuses travel around a certified product, say a specific type of Pecorino cheese or Lambrusco wine, you are automatically guiding travelers to the source.
Which is almost always a rural or agricultural area.
Almost always. And those are areas that desperately need the economic activity.
So you're basically trading the line outside the Uffizi for a guided tour of an olive mill in Puglia, or maybe a family-run prosciutto factory deep in Emilia-Romagna.
It's a much richer, slower experience.
I would think so.
It absolutely is. And the sources show the scope is massive. There are 585 related activities active right now.
Wow.
And that's not just a statistic. That's hundreds of new small businesses and services anchoring sustainable travel. This includes 235 temporary events like harvest festivals and tastings, but critically,
Or permanent stuff.
the permanent stuff, 188 permanent infrastructures like regional wine and taste routes and food museums.
That's crucial, the infrastructure piece. Because, temporary events are great, but that permanent infrastructure ensures the small towns benefit year-round. It stabilizes those rural economies.
And we see Veneto, Tuscany, and Emilia-Romagna really leading this, leveraging their already strong consortia.
Makes sense.
And that's the success metric right there, blending agriculture and hospitality seamlessly. They are proving that high-value niche tourism is the future. It offers deep knowledge, authentic connection, not just mass consumption.
A very sophisticated way to monetize your heritage without destroying it.
Exactly.
Now, beyond the rural push, Italy is also transforming its old industrial giants into these cultural and sustainable magnets. A perfect example is Turin.
Oh, Turin is a masterclass in this.
It was just named the European Capital of Smart Tourism 2025.
Mhm.
This is a city famous for cars, and now it's reinventing itself completely.
It's an amazing example of urban regeneration. They've taken these massive industrial landmarks, the old Fiat plant, Lingato, or the OGR, the old train repair shops, and they've repurposed them into thriving cultural and innovation centers.
But the real commitment is sustainability and tech, right?
That's where the smart part comes in. They're leveraging digital tools like using AI and extended reality through projects like 5G tours to enhance the visitor experience.
But I think the most important commitment might be social. That Tourismobile platform, which focuses on improving accessibility for disabled travelers.
That's a huge piece of it. And this commitment isn't abstract. Turin is tied to a concrete climate city contract. They're pushing for carbon neutrality by 2030.
So smart tourism isn't just about having Wi-Fi everywhere.
No, not at all. It's about being inclusive and environmentally responsible. It's ensuring heritage is respected while you embrace cutting-edge tech.
Speaking of rethinking urban spaces, here's where it gets really interesting on the environmental front. Italy is literally embracing its waterways.
Urban river tourism.
Yeah, as these eco-friendly transit and leisure routes using electric boats, kayaks, anything to relieve congestion. I love the idea of Bologna reviving its ancient canals.
Or Milan revitalizing the Navigli system. It's a beautiful concept, isn't it? Reconnecting people with nature within the dense urban fabric.
It really is.
By creating these blue corridors, they're cutting city emissions and turning mobility itself into a leisure activity. It's a slow travel approach that transforms the daily grind into something mindful.
So the future of travel involves changing our pace, not just our destination.
I think that's a perfect way to put it.
And if we're talking about slowing down and focusing on heritage, we have to talk about the Franciscan cultural routes.
Yes. Big news there.
They've been recognized as a European cultural route, which is just ahead of St. Francis's 800th anniversary in 2026. This isn't just a hiking path, is it?
Oh, far from it. The sources call them living paths.
Living paths.
They're built around St. Francis's spiritual message, based in Assisi, and they promote ongoing research in botany, medicine, all alongside heritage preservation and pilgrimage. It keeps historical values alive by making them actively engaging.
Not just preserving them under glass.
Exactly.
And for anyone who loves low light pollution, we have to mention the Borgo dei Deseri.
The Village of Wishes.
That's it. It's an annual event in August across over 120 small towns.
That event is an absolute delight. It's all about authenticity and simple, profound connection. You write wishes in these historic village squares, but the main draw is the minimal light pollution.
So stargazing.
Unforgettable stargazing, a reminder of the beauty that urban life often sacrifices. It's poetic tourism at its best, really, a celebration of quiet, unpolluted nature.
This decentralization is so critical because when we look at the raw numbers, the boon is still crushing those old hotspots.
Absolutely.
Let's look at the economic landscape because 2024 was huge. Museums attracted 60.8 million visitors.
And archaeological parks saw over 10% growth compared to pre-COVID levels. The money is following that growth. Foreign tourists spent nearly 21 billion euros in 2024.
21 billion.
Which is a massive 40% rise from just 2 years ago. But, and here's the crucial tension, 3/4 of that spending is still concentrated in just 20 provinces.
That's the problem the whole country is trying to solve.
It is.
That concentration is startling. I mean, Rome and Milan account for over 1/4 of the entire national spending.
It confirms why the push to DOP areas and smart cities is an absolute necessity. You have this extreme pressure over tourism in places like Venice and Bolzano, while areas like, say, Rieti or Isernia are barely touched.
So it raises a great question then. Is there a risk that pushing DOP tourism just means creating new saturated hotspots?
That's the danger. The goal has to be about quality over quantity and ensuring that investment in infrastructure and professionalization keeps pace with the influx.
I think you hit on a crucial point there, the sustainability of the growth. But the biggest shift we're seeing is in who exactly is visiting and what these new global travelers demand.
Yes, the profiles.
The sources reveal these distinct new profiles that are changing local economies entirely.
Let's start with the surprising one. The rise of the Indian traveler in Sardinia. The Costa Smeralda is a huge magnet for them.
And this demographic is fascinating. They combine extreme luxury, we're talking yachts, high-end shopping in Porto Cervo.
Right, but with an intense desire for authentic experiences.
So they aren't content with just a 5-star hotel.
Not at all. They are demanding private hikes, bespoke winery tours, and even sitting down for dinner with local shepherds. They want immersion alongside their glamour.
They want to do Italy, not just look at it.
Exactly. It's a young, digital-savvy, affluent group that sees real value in hands-on cultural activities. It sets them apart.
Then you have the Arabs in the Dolomites. The sources note that Arabic is now replacing German as the dominant language you hear in the summer in places like Cortina.
Or Lake Garda. And they're seeking quiet, comfort, nature escapes, often driving demand for Muslim-friendly certifications.
And the shift here is geographical and seasonal.
Completely. They see the Dolomites as a peaceful summer retreat, not a skiing destination. They value discretion, tailored services, the cool mountain air. It fundamentally changes how those regional economies operate outside of winter.
A remarkable adaptation by the local hospitality sector.
It really is.
And the Americans, of course, are still a dominant force. They were the top spenders.
Nearly 4 billion euros.
And they are flocking to Puglia and Basilicata, drawn by social media. Specifically, hashtags linked to the famous Trulli houses.
And where are they staying? They're booking the Masserie. These historic farmhouses turned luxury resorts, and they're demanding those hands-on cultural activities.
Pasta making classes.
Olive oil tasting, learning the pizzica dance, that fast, hypnotic, regional folk tradition. Authenticity, fueled by digital exposure, has become the highest value currency in southern Italy.
This shift in traveler profile is also playing out domestically with the rise of the second summer.
Ah, yeah.
More than 8 million Italians now travel in September. They're capitalizing on price drops.
Which can be up to a 30% reduction in costs compared to that peak August crunch.
And the motivation is purely about value and quality of life.
Of course. Why fight the August crowds and heat when you can enjoy slower queues and lower prices in September? This is shifting the focus away from the congested beaches.
Toward the mountains, which are growing in appeal.
And farm stays, they've seen a massive rise in overnight stays. It's the perfect blend. Relaxation combined with culinary discovery like mushroom foraging or harvest festivals.
It's all about extending the high season, distributing the economic benefit, and connecting with the land when it's most productive and beautiful.
And that connection to the land brings us naturally to long-term investment. Italy isn't just adapting to trends, it's cementing its heritage globally.
Which requires investment in recognition and infrastructure.
Absolutely.
They continue to lead the world in global recognition. Florence was named Europe's top city by Travel plus Leisure readers.
And praised specifically for its walkability, culture, and its efforts in sustainable tourism. It confirms that the older cities are actively trying to manage their success.
And for sheer visual delight, the small Venetian island of Burano was named the world's most colorful place.
The history there is so charming. Fishermen painted their houses in these incredibly bright hues so they could spot them through the notorious Venetian fog when returning home.
It just highlights how utility and beauty are so often intertwined in Italian design. On a more concrete level, Italy just secured its 61st UNESCO World Heritage Site,
Sardinia's Domus de Janus.
the ferry houses. This keeps Italy one step ahead of China in the global UNESCO race.
And these are incredible. They're 5,000-year-old rock-cut tombs dating back to the 5th millennium BCE. They represent the most widespread example of hypogean funerary architecture, meaning underground, cut into rock in the Western Mediterranean.
It's a major win that puts the global spotlight on Sardinia's deep, ancient history.
And its unique social fabric.
And we also saw the Amalfi Coast secure a big one, the globally important Agricultural Heritage System, or GIAHS, recognition.
Yes, for its ancient terraced landscapes of lemons and olives.
This celebrates what they call heroic agriculture.
It's the perfect term. If you've ever seen the Amalfi Coast, you know those incredible steep terraced dry stone walls. They stabilize the slopes, prevent erosion, and create the perfect microclimate for that famous, massive Sfusato Amalfitano lemon.
It's a powerful example of sustainable human ingenuity harmonizing with nature over centuries.
A perfect blueprint for modern sustainable farming.
Now, to sustain all this success, especially in the 40 billion euro food and wine tourism sector, Italy is actively professionalizing the industry.
This is a critical investment in human capital.
They realize they can't run a sophisticated operation on goodwill alone. They need specialized talent.
Right. To move beyond relying on part-time or untrained staff, they're defining new specialized career paths. They're creating roles like the Food and Wine Tourism Product Manager,
Who works in consortia to shape offerings.
and the Hospitality Manager for large producers who might receive thousands of visitors a year.
There's even the Experience Curator. I love that title. A freelance expert who steps in during peak seasons, like the grape harvest or olive pressing.
To organize bespoke, hands-on tours when the farmers themselves are too busy with production.
That structured approach ensures quality and consistency. By defining these roles, Italy is creating meaningful, long-term career paths for young people.
Which ultimately sustains the high-quality, authentic experiences demanded by those new global travelers we were just talking about.
And finally, none of this decentralization, getting people from Rome to Bari or from Milan to the Dolomites, none of it works without infrastructure.
Not a chance.
So Italy is pouring money into a massive 100 billion euro long-term plan for what they're calling their rail renaissance.
This is arguably the most vital investment for the success of the entire strategy. They're installing the ETMS digital control platform across 16,800 kilometers of track.
Making the network faster, safer, and critically, greener.
And new high-speed lines will drastically cut journey times, like the Napoli to Bari trip, which will soon take just 2 hours.
That's a game changer for southern Italy. The focus is on modernization. 38 major hubs are being redeveloped, and improving connections to 26 airports.
This is how you efficiently distribute people and the economic benefits across the entire peninsula.
Not just the usual triangle.
Exactly. What this deep dive shows, really, is that Italy's success is built on a comprehensive strategy. They are simultaneously investing in world-class infrastructure, protecting their deep cultural roots through recognition like UNESCO and GOH.
And developing sustainable, decentralized tourism models like DOP and the urban river systems.
They're leveraging their history to future-proof their economy.
It's a country intensely focused on high-quality, specialized experience. But to leave you with something to consider, a recent study identified Alba, Siena, and Olbia as Italy's most wine-friendly cities.
Right. Places where wine is truly woven into daily life and culture.
Yes. However, when researchers looked at digital search trends across the board, what the world actually looks up and talks about, one single wine dominated the entire conversation.
And it dwarfed every specialized regional product, even the famous Barolos and Chiantis.
Prosecco.
Prosecco.
So what does it tell us about the future of highly specialized regional products and deep-dive cultural tourism when a nationally branded, affordable, celebratory, bubbly phenomenon reigns supreme in the digital world?
Something to mull over until our next deep dive.